What is up, and welcome to Day to Day with Ray, with me, your girl Ray. So I'm so bummed because life happens, but I really wanted to do a green eggs and ham cake, which I still might make anyway, because who doesn't love freaking Dr. Seuss? Like, who does not love Dr. Seuss? I love Dr. Seuss. My son did not get into it. I forced the Seuss in him. That sounds so terrible. But I was trying so hard to force Dr. Seuss into his brain when he was little. We have so many books, and I used to go thrifting for them. So, but yeah. So March 2nd, instead of calling it Dr. Seuss's birthday, like, don't even get me started. I have a rant video coming up that I sat here and ranted about kids and school and all this stuff. But anyway, none about that anymore. So it is now called Read Across America Day, which is March 2nd, which is Dr. Seuss's birthday. And I wanted to make the green eggs and ham cake because that is one of my favorites. That is one of my favorites. I know pretty much the whole book, but like the back of my hand. But it is one of my favorite books. And also, I think it's called The Sneeds. Is that where they have the stars on their belly? I know that there's Sneeds or in the Lorax. Like, I think he makes the Theeds by the Sneeds, but I also think the Sneeds have their own book, and it's where they have like the star, and then they're like nasty to the people who don't have the star in their belly, and then this little like magician dude comes and puts stars on their belly, and then the other hoity-toity group were like, oh no, you can't be like us, and now you're like us, and now we don't know who's who. But there's like a really good message in it, and it was like a really good book. And but that's my second favorite book by Dr. Seuss. So I still might make a green eggs and ham cake just because whatever. Cakes by Choppa, I have been watching him for a very long time. He has taught me how to use coloring pages as templates. And if you ever go on my Raise Cakes Facebook page, you'll see like I've done like 2 Paw Patrol Marshall cakes that I have used just from printing out a coloring sheet from the internet. I've done the same thing with the LOL surprise cake. Legitimately, I just blew up this cake or this paper, and I enlarged it and made 2 8x10s and literally made this huge cake out of 1 coloring sheet. I've done fondant tutorials as Jigglypuff using just basic coloring sheets. SpongeBob, I used the templates to make my koi fish and my koi fish pond cake. All that can be found on my Raise Cakes page. All the links. I do have a Naughty Nibbles page, which the title should say it all. I am going, when the occasion arises, no pun intended, I will be making adult cakes on Patreon. You will have to pay a little bit of a fee to watch that. I haven't got anything really set up. I have created the account, and again, that is also Day to Day Ray. So yeah, but anyway, on with this. So I finally found these jumbo marshmallows. They're the only ones I can find. I think Jet Puff has the big campfire marshmallows, but we are going to make a simple, easy mode Dr. Seuss hat using the jumbo marshmallows. Like I said, super easy mode, like for real. So yeah, we're gonna just get right into this. The first thing I'm gonna do is I have some white fondant here, and this is gonna be my base. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my cornstarch in my bag. Love the sound effects. And I'm just gonna roll this out. Now the thickness is up to you. depending on what you're gonna do with it. If you're just making a treat, you can make it as big or as thin as you want. If you're making them for actual cupcake toppers, I would make them just a little bit thick, only for the simple fact that you do also might, or I can't even talk, you may want to let it harden a bit. And pardon my nails, I need to redo them. They're like so gross looking. Now, this is about the thickness that I'm gonna stick with. It's a little uneven. Now I'm gonna get a marshmallow. Let me move this out of the way for a second. I saw a pretty good one. Here's one right here. Now, you want one that's, well, it doesn't have to be perfect, because if you look at Dr. Seuss's hat, it kind of has this weird curve, and like, even this is the cartoon version, and this is like a one that you can actually buy at the store. I did this for a reason, and I'll get to that in a second. But if you just want to like look at them and compare them, see if there's like any like squished, or like this one, oh my goodness, look at that. It's got a nice little like dent in it, and it kind of gives that nice Dr. Seuss look. So I'm going to stick with that one. And then this will be for something else. So I'm going to stick with this. Now, this cookie cutter, I believe, is my 2.5-inch cookie cutter in my cookie cutter set. And I just want to make sure that if I use this marshmallow, that there's still going to be enough space around, because these are super big marshmallows. Now, you can always go back to your picture for a reference. There is a nice, you know, brim and brill around it. I think this will be okay. So I am just going to cut this out just like that. And then I'm going to sit this here. Now I'm going to roll this up real quick. This is actually pretty perfect. I will pick it up. So here is our fondant, and then the hat. I don't know how well you can see it. Now I'm going to get some water. I have a little thing of water, and I have my little itty bitty paintbrush, and I'm gonna make this nice and sticky. And I'm just gonna paint this bottom. You might want to push down because you want it nice and sticky, and you want it nice and flat. So that might be a little bit too much, which is fine. I don't really mind. And then if it is, just take a paper towel and dab it. And then I'm gonna sit this on here. See, it's already pretty glued down. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit over here and dry for a few minutes. Now, my next step is the red fondant. Whoops. Okay, so now I have my red fondant rolled out. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring my little hat over here. I have 2 cookie cutters. Now, what I want to do is get the top of the red hat, because if you look at most of the pictures, the top of the hat is red. So you don't have to, but if you want like a pretty accurate rendition of this, this is what you can do. So I'm going to put this up here, and as you can see, that is pretty small. So I'm not going to use that one. This one is probably my best bet. I don't know. Maybe I can just use this one and stretch it out some. So maybe that's what I'm going to do, because I did roll this super thin. So maybe that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this circle out, because sometimes it is hard to tell. So let me see if I do that and then just kind of stretch it out. And just kind of, oh, I tore it. This is a little too thin. So let me see, do I have a thicker side? I think this side's a little thicker. I'll use this side. Yeah, this side's a little thicker than that side. So I'm just gonna, actually, I'm just gonna kind of roll it out a little more. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Yes. Now, it's a little, there we go. So, I think that is a pretty good fit. I may roll it out just a smidgen more. And then another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, I have a pair of scissors that I use just for fondant, and I might trim this backside up, but I'm gonna hold off on that for a second. And the reason why is, let me roll this up. I need to make the stripes. Now again, referencing back to your drawing, the Cat in a Hat's hat has 1, 2, 3 stripes. So I have my ribbon cutter here, and as you know, these have, if you don't know, they have measurements on them. So this piece right here is 3/4 of an inch. This is 1/4 of an inch. This one is 1 inch. This is very old too, by the way. This is a 1/2 inch. And then these are your cutters, and they come in different styles. So I'm gonna make 1, 2, and then 3 stripes going around the top. Now what I might do, because I think the top stripe is a little bigger, but no, that's still too big. So what you do with this is you unscrew this, and then you take these off. This is for those who've never seen this before. And then I'm just gonna slide this piece back on. This can be a little annoying, but this is good for like those who like to make bows. Like you can get uniform size ribbons. You know, I'm not a very good cutter, like straight, like even in my crafts, I'm always messing up. So yeah, these are good. Apparently I can't screw stuff either. So, and you can do more because these come with more, but I just like doing one at a time. So then you screw this back on. Now you can make it super tight, but then it's hard to roll. So you just want to keep it loose so you have control of that. So I'm going to move this off to the side. And then I'm just going to simply put pressure, and I'm going to cut. There's 1 stripe. That one's got a little, but that's okay. I should have put it down a little bit further, but there's 2 stripes. And then here is, whoops, 3 stripes. Now they look a little jagged, which is fine, because you can just easily go take your finger, you can pat them down, make them nice and neat, and just fix them up where I call them like the little train track marks are, the little ribbon tracks. Go through. Like I said, mine's so old though, I really should probably get a new ribbon cutter set. Because like I said, mine really is old. But yeah, so I'm gonna roll this up, get that out of the way. Now this piece, as you notice, has a little hole in it, but what I might do is, whoops, back here where this overhangs some, I may put this piece here and then just let that overhang on that side like that. So let me put this back down because I don't have that intact yet. So I'm gonna take this off, and the first piece I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the first band on the bottom, and I'm just gonna, let me do this because I don't want to mess this up. is how, oh, it's a little short. That's all right, because I can always just simply stretch it out a little bit as far as I need it. Just a touch short. It's not, oops, and I just broke it. Not perfect here, ladies and gentlemen, not perfect. Okay. So that's our first stripe. I'm gonna put this on with some water. So I'm just gonna put a little band of water. And then I hope you guys can see. I'm making sure that the band is flush with the bottom. And then if you need a little bit more water, you can add the water. If you need to hold it for a few minutes, that's fine too. Okay. And there, pick this up, is our first stripe on our hat. Now I'm gonna do the middle band, and then I'm gonna do the top band, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to put the top back on. So I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, because I was getting ready to put this on top. So I already went ahead, and as you see, I have my 3 stripes. I decided to do the stripe first because I just think it would be a little bit easier. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the back, because even though I had them lined up and they matched, I did have to patch this one, but these two I cut evenly, but I think it's just from the marshmallow. Maybe I was squeezing it. So make sure that when you do yours, that you just measure and like maybe before it like settles and stuff, maybe leave a little bit of extra. Like make it so that they overlap a little bit. Okay, so I was not happy with this. I could not get this one to work. So I just went ahead and I re-rolled another circle. I made this one much thicker, and then I rolled it out to about the shape that I need. I'm now going to officially attach it. I'm just gonna make sure it's attached to the fondant, it's attached to the marshmallow, it's attached completely. And then I'm just gonna do that, smooth it down, and you could kind of see where the brim is. And then I'm just gonna simply, I'm gonna flip this upside down, and I'm gonna take my X-Acto knife, and I'm just gonna kind of cut, because you want it to be as close as possible and as neat as possible without getting that white. Don't show that marshmallow, because like I said, this is the top of the marshmallow. Who would have thought making little easy mode cupcake toppers would actually turn into something, whatever. Like I said, I have made these before, but we've mainly made them with like piping gel. So if you wanted to pipe the, see that one I cut a little short, but that's okay, because it's still moist enough I can smooth it out. And then that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking my finger, smoothing and pressing, making sure that they're touching, making sure that the top fondant is touching the bottom on the hat. Now there's a little piece right there that I just ripped off. This fondant is kind of old. This isn't for consumption. This is like kind of old. This one is. So it's kind of breaking and it's dried out a little bit. So that's why I have the cracking and stuff. So I can now officially say, for the most part, I'm just gonna put a little bit more, whoops, not on the top, but I do want to make sure that these are touching, that is touching the brim. Just kind of going through, making sure the top piece is touching the top of the fondant. So the hat is closed, just smoothing everything out, making it look seamless. Like I said, this fondant's old. So I actually saved some of the fondant for tutorials. I do have new packs, but I wasn't going to open it just for what little bit I needed. I mean, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I mean, this stuff ain't cheap for me to get, and I can't buy it all the time. So when I got the good stuff, I am very skimpy with it. So yeah, I'm just pinching, making sure that it's all nice and neat. And then you can squeeze it a little bit, get your shape, and there we go. There is our Dr. Seuss marshmallow hat. Not too shabby, if I do say. Another thing that you can do, if you want to, if you look at the cartoon, it is all done in like it's outlined in black, and it has like these little lines and things like that. Like you can outline. I do have an edible marker right here. So if you genuinely wanted to, I'm gonna actually put it on here. And if you wanted to outline the brim, you could, just to make it a little bit more cartoony, because he's got like a different sense, so it doesn't really have to be perfect. You can add like that. You can trace all your lines if you wanted to. Let me see, hold on a second. Okay, so basically what I just did, as you can see, I just basically made this just a little cartoony. I just went over the lines. The marshmallow doesn't write, or the marker doesn't write very well on the marshmallow, but as you see, I made it super cartoony. I could probably go over the front of this again. Oops, wrong side. This reminds me of one of my eyeliners. But you could just go around the front, because if you know, like Dr. Seuss's illustrations are just kind of like sketched, and you know, so that's basically just what I did, was just went around, maybe added a squiggle, like just to kind of accent. And that's all I did, was just, it works better on the fondant than on the marshmallow. But I just took my marker and I went around the top of the fondant and just made my lines. I kind of took my time a little bit, but you can just do that too, because I did that, just went like that and just made like sketchy looking lines and just made it look super duper cartoony. And I think it looks really, really, really cute. I think so. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty easy. It's pretty inexpensive. You can get, hold on. You can get little packs like this of this fondant, which is basically what this red fondant was. This is no good now. I have to throw this away. This is fine. Excuse me, I just belched. But yeah, you can get the packs like this, and these are fairly inexpensive. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. These are fairly, I think they're like $3 or something, maybe not even that much. It might be $2.88 or something, but I have a whole bunch of these on hand, especially red and black, because they're so hard to make. If you just need it for accents, this is perfect. Just like this. You don't need much, you know, and look how cute that is. These marshmallows, I think, was like maybe $2 a bag. So you can get a good amount of Dr. Seuss hats, maybe out of one or two of these. Also, if you go to Michael's, this, I mean, I like Wilton, don't get me wrong. This is actually my favorite little fondant. They come, this is the Michaels brand. They come, I accidentally bought this. I thought this was black because it was in the black space, but it was the chocolate one. But this is the Sweet Shop fondant. And they come in these nice little containers as opposed to these are just these little bags. But if you wrap the fondant back up in this bag, wrap it in the foil, and then put it in a Ziploc bag like this and seal it up, you should be okay. These come sealed. I really like these fondants. They come in so many colors and they come in gray. This comes in gray. I believe this only comes in red, pink, purple, black, blue, and green. So yeah, super, super helpful with these. I like getting these. Always check them and then make sure that they're soft. There's been times when I've gone to the store and I picked one up and it's rock hard because it has the tiniest air hole in it. But yeah, so these are good too. These are from Michaels. I think these are like almost $4, but the taste of this is phenomenal. I love how this tastes. I love how it works, and I love the little containers that they come in. So yeah, I think they are pretty cool. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope everything made sense to you, and I hope I explained everything as well as I possibly could. I got marker on my hands. If you would like this tutorial, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I have more little fun tutorials I like using. If you're new to my channel, I like using things to make other things look like things. If that makes any sense. I try to be as easy mode. I'm not a professional. I am a complete self-taught cake decorator. If you don't know, a little back history, quick and short and sweet because this is a half-hour video, which means this probably took about 40 minutes to make. Just one, but once you get into swing and once you get into gear of things, you know, if you want them as cupcake toppers or if you just want one for a cake topper, super cute. What the heck was I getting ready to say? Quick backstory. When I had my son, I couldn't work. I was very sad about not working. I don't know why. But I was very sad and I started going to a postpartum depression, was watching Cake Wars one night. And I said, hey, I wonder if I can do that. I'm artsy fartsy. They were painting and doing stuff. I was like, I like to paint. Why not paint food? Why not paint cake? Everybody likes cake. A party without cake is just a meeting. So yeah, come on. So let's do it. So I started, and it's all been downhill from there. My son will be 9 this year. Oh my God. So I've been doing this for 9 years. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I'm not perfect. I hope you enjoy this. And remember to be kind because you don't know what kind of battle someone's going through. So don't be a dick. Be a Dr. Seuss lover instead. Alright guys, I love you so much. Hugs and kisses, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.